Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Beanie and welcome back to another video. Today, this is going to be a countdown video, but it's going to be a little different because everybody in the community has been kind of frustrated with SDS all year. They fix one thing, they break another. It's been kind of frustrating for everybody, and I'm not here to like defend the devs or anything. I do understand that they're trying, but they have fucked up, and a lot of times they do kind of look incompetent. And so this isn't going to be about defending the devs. This is going to be about how to make MLB The Show great again. You know, to kind of paraphrase one of Donald Trump's old things. And, you know, a lot of this stuff probably isn't going to be implemented this year. It's probably something that'll have to be implemented next year. But this is definitely, if all of these things were implemented, it would get us on the road to a better game. And I'm going to do two versions of these. This version is just purely like Diamond Dynasty, how you get cards, how you do stuff like that. And then tomorrow, I'm going to do a gameplay version because everybody knows gameplay needs a lot of fucking help. And we're going to tackle that too. But first, I'm going to present you with the top 10 ways to make Diamond Dynasty great again. Okay, number 10 is probably a bit trivial to a lot of you guys. A lot of you are probably like, man, there's so many problems. Aren't you talking about uniforms? But this is something that I think could make the game a little bit better. It's not going to fix any of the major problems with the game or anything like that, but it will make the game more enjoyable because one of the most fun parts of Diamond Dynasty is the customization, being able to put your own team, being able to kind of put your own personality with your team and stuff like that. And right now, the uniform options have been virtually the same, except maybe they've added like a few logos and fonts and stuff like that. But what I would really like to see, I would like to see them put in stuff like pinwheel hats, or you know, just different piping options. Maybe an option to have camo uniforms, even though I think those look like an abortion. Some people really like them. If they added more options to the way that you can customize your uniform and just more customization in general, I think people would be more attracted to it. I mean, Diamond Dynasty already does probably the best job of team customization of any of the Ultimate Team modes out there, but it could always get better, and I think that this is one way that it could definitely get better, but that is kind of trivial, so let's get on to the more important stuff now. Number 9 is better sorting options. Whenever you're going through like your lineup screen or the player inventory screen or anything like that, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Like if I wanted to go to, you know, the Cubs right now, I would have to scroll through every single team, and it, you know, there's like that tiny bit of lag behind it, so it's going to take me a good 30 seconds to get there. It would be really nice if, kind of like on the market, how they have that filter that you can put on there, maybe have that on the player inventory screen so that you can quickly, like let's say that you were wanting to go, like let's say you're on the Cubs and you want to see what Mike Trout is all about right now, you can just hit that, click center field, Angels, and boom, that'll give you all the center fielders for the Angels, and there's Mike Trout. Better sorting options would just make it would make it to where we aren't wasting as much time in the menus and we can actually go in and play the game. This isn't something that's vital, but it's something that would definitely make the game a little bit more palatable and a little less frustrating. Number 8 is, I think, and some people may disagree with me on this, I think seasons and like head-to-head ranked should be separated. I think that seasons should be a little bit more like Madden. I don't really like how MLB The Show has done seasons this year. I think you should feel like you're playing a season. Right now it just feels like you're playing, you know, head-to-head, trying to get into the World Series to get the reward, and it's kind of turned into just reward chasing. Nobody really cares about where they are in the standings. Some people do, but most people are just trying to get that 98 Miguel Cabrera or the 96 Gwynn or whatever, and I don't like how it's affected the leaderboards. First of all, it's really easy to get into the World Series, and you know, and the lifetime leaderboard, the way that you accumulate and it just like adds up over time, and then if you're in the World Series, you start out with a 650 rating, and then I mean, that's just weird. And then another problem is whenever I mean, we've gone like a day and a half now where we can't even play a season because they haven't started the new one. I have no idea why, but they haven't started the new season, and it's stupid. Like, I want to play head to head, and right now I can't play head to head. That is crazy. I think it needs to be separated. I think the season should work something like, you play a 20-game season, and then, if you get 12 wins, you get into the playoffs with other people who got 12 wins. If you get 15 wins, you get like a bye in the playoffs or something, and then you can earn rewards through that, and then you can just kind of like keep rinsing and repeating, and maybe have a ranking system for that, but then you have ranked head-to-head kind of separated from that, and you can just go, and like seasons is more for like earning rewards and stuff, and then head-to-head is purely for playing for rating and like showing people that you're really good at the game and getting into the World Series and having that prestigious thing, Number 7 is a big one, and it's just better servers in general. The servers have been hit or miss all year. Almost more often than not, they're miss. Sometimes you'll get on, they're really slow. Sometimes you get a lot of challenge faileds trying to get into a game, and it can be really frustrating whenever all you're wanting to do is, play a quick online game, and you have to, get 17 challenge faileds before it finally, goes through. And oh wait, no, you're supposed to restart your system and then log back into Diamond Dynasty, and then, you won't get any more challenge faileds. That's just a big pain in the ass. Like, just the whole online experience needs to be kind of streamlined. They need to put a little bit more money into making the servers better, because I know a lot of people who have just quit playing Diamond Dynasty because it can just be such a pain in the ass sometimes. Number 6 is something that I don't hear a lot of people talking about, but I think it would make the game a lot better. And a lot of people might be resistant to this idea just because it sounds a lot like Madden, but I'm not of the belief that just because something is from Madden makes it inherently bad. I think that Madden has a lot of decent ideas that Diamond Dynasty could learn from, as long as Diamond Dynasty doesn't turn into MUT, because I do agree that MUT sucks, and I hate MUT. Like, it drives me crazy. But one of the things that I think MLB The Show could take away from MUT is more interesting solos. Right now, offline players, really all they're offered is like extra innings, which they don't earn anything from, and then like grinding versus the CPU, and it just feels so grindy, just grinding statistics, grinding wins. It's just so grindy, and it's so monotonous and so boring. What I would really like to see is something akin to the NFL journey, something along those lines in MLB, where you can earn rewards and do stuff like that. But you're put in like, I call them like situational solos, where, it's the bottom of the ninth and there are runners on second and third, and you're down by 2 and there's 2 outs, and you have to get those runs across and then find another way to get another run across to win the game, or something like that, to where that, they have like this set list of challenges that you have to complete, and then you have to do them at different difficulties, and at the end of each difficulty you get like a reward or something, and it scales up and the rewards get better and it challenges you more. I think that would be really interesting. It would also be a lot quicker, and it would reward the guys who don't necessarily like to play online, because I see a lot of people on Reddit and stuff who say, I fucking hate playing online. I like playing Diamond Dynasty because I like, customizing my team. I like getting all the cards that I want, and I like playing versus a computer because, it's kind of escapist for me or whatever. And that's fine, and they definitely need to cater to that crowd, because that crowd makes them a lot of money. And if solos were a little bit more interesting, I think that that crowd would be made pretty happy, because right now they're kind of pissed off, because really the only way to acquire a large number of cards in this game is to play online, and they kind of hate doing that. Okay, the next thing is just so obvious to me. I don't know why they did the whole thing where in the lineup screen where you can't see the handedness of the pitcher and all that, but the lineups have got to be changed, guys. Like, first of all, you need to have the ability to save multiple lineups, like save a lineup that's for this particular event, or save this lineup, whenever you're wanting to play with this type of team, or save this lineup when you're wanting to play with that type of team. That sort of thing is crucial because it takes a long time to set up a lineup, like to sort through all these players and to figure out what position you want them at, and all that stuff takes a long time. And it would just streamline that. And the second part about it is you have to have the ability to save a lineup for left-handed pitchers and a lineup for right-handed pitchers. You have to have the ability to prepare for platoons pre-game. Otherwise, cards like the 93 overall Curtis Granderson has very, very little value because they only hit one side of the plate well. So it's just crazy. And what I would like to see them do is implement that, and then take the pregame screens where you have like the little roulette pitcher selection thing, and then you go to your lineup and you have to press start to enter the game. Just in that, like whenever you and another guy get into a game, you just press X. If he's pitching a lefty, you get your righty lineup. If he's pitching a righty, you get your lefty lineup, or whatever. And that's what I would like to see. That would prevent people from backing out. I don't understand this need to have to be able to see your lineup and your pitchers pre-game if you already have that stuff loaded into your screen. Okay, and number 4 is they have to get more pitchers in this game. And not only do they need more pitchers in this game, they need better pitchers in this game. There are so many diamond level pitchers right now who are not good. Like this 90 Johnny Cueto is not that great. I would mash this card. This 91 Jim Hunter is not that great of a card because he doesn't throw hard enough. Another thing that you have to think about, like this Doug Drabeck, I would really like this Doug Drabeck if he had like maybe 81 K per 9. I would really like this card. I would think that he's, quite usable. But right now that K per 9 just drives it so low. And I think they need to scale K per 9, and I think they've done that a little bit this year, but you just don't see it enough to where you're like, okay, now a lot of these legend pitchers like Brett Saberhagen, Gaylord Perry, now they're usable because they're really, it's tough to make that argument because, I mean, like right now, this 87 Jake Arrieta, I mean, he's like one of the best pitchers in the game, and there's no reason an 87 should be that much better than a 95 overall diamond. They need to address pitching. They need to figure out ways to make finesse pitchers more useful. They need to figure out ways to make the home run per 9 attribute mean something, which we'll talk about later. The clutch attribute means something. It's pretty ridiculous how pitchers have been handled the past few years, and they really need to do a better job with that. Okay, and number 3, it kind of goes off of what I was saying earlier. Make all attributes matter. Right now, there are just so many attributes that don't mean dick. I've come to understand that control literally has very little to no effect in the game, and the way that you can tell how good a guy's control is through his walk per 9. That is crazy. Control should have an impact. Home run per 9 has 0 impact in the game. Clutch has very little to none. All of these attributes should mean something. For home run per 9, maybe, the average exit velocity for your opponent's hitters will go down or something like that so they can keep the ball in the park or something. It has to mean something, or else you're just fucking lying to us, SES. If you have a 99 overall pitcher that has like 70 hit and K per 9, but his walk and home run per 9 and clutch and stamina and all that stuff is 99 overall, and then he has like 70 velocity and 80 break, that is not a 99 overall pitcher. That is a shitty pitcher. So stop lying to us. Make those attributes mean something. And it's not like they've been pretty transparent about the fact that they don't mean anything, but that's not good enough. There are so many people that don't watch those streams that look, oh, this guy has a good home run per 9, nobody's going to be hitting home runs off of me. Wrong, you dumb fuck. They are, because it doesn't mean anything. All it is a simulation stat, and what's the point of having a fucking simulation stat on a card that you can't even use in like franchise mode or anything? Like this 92 Doug Drabeck, I guess you can, but like not a lot of people do that. But it's fucking ridiculous, guys. And all attributes should matter, and it's not just pitchers. Hitters have them too. Plate discipline matters, but not a lot. Clutch doesn't matter like at all. And another thing that they need to do is they need to expand attributes. They need to make more attributes to make more nuanced players. Like the fact that we've had the same attributes for, I mean, God, like a decade now, is kind of ridiculous. Like maybe for pitchers, they should have an effectiveness against righties and an effectiveness against lefties. They should have like a ground ball rate attribute or something like that. They should have a lot of things and make all of them matter. That way you can make more nuanced players. That way you can make finesse pitchers maybe you know, a little bit better. You know, maybe you can make contact hitters with like low power and stuff, and they still don't have speed. Maybe you can make those guys more effective. I don't know how it would affect the game, but I do know that it is something that I want to see. Number 2 is to add more card acquisition options, and that sounds kind of crazy because, I mean, look at all these different mission tabs that you have that you can complete to get really cool cards and stuff like that. They've done a really good job of expanding your options for getting cards this year. They've done a really, really good job with that, but I think that they can take it a little bit further. And I think that they can add new little things like collectibles. I know a lot of people hate the sound of that, but it does really make for a better game if you do it the right way. And I know we have equipment that kind of serves that purpose, but I don't think it does a very good job of that. But what I'm talking about with collectibles is maybe, you know, instead of calling it badges or something, maybe call it like arm patches or something like that. And you can have some patches that are sellable. You can have some patches that you earn through like Battle Royale. Maybe instead of having, you know, a Battle Royale thing where you like, you know, you're just randomly getting a card, maybe have a list of like 10 players that you add on to as the year goes on, and as you earn more badges and earn different tiers of badges, you can put those into a set to earn the player that you want out of that Battle Royale list. Instead of just like, you know, wanting that 95 Chipper Jones, but you keep going 12-0 and you keep getting, you know, Phil Necro. That would suck. And that would kind of eliminate that problem. Plus, it would allow guys who maybe aren't as good at Battle Royale to still earn, you know, enough badges to get some players that they want without having to be so good. They would just have to have a higher volume of Battle Royale games played. And, you know, but I don't know. Like, I don't know exactly how it would work. I just know that I think that collectibles like that would make the game better. And I know that that sounds Madden-ish, but like I said earlier, I think Madden has some good ideas when it comes to Ultimate Team modes. I just don't think that the entire package of Madden, I think, is a very shitty product. But I think some of the ideas that they have are pretty good, and I think that they would work really well in an MLB The Show setting, as long as MLB The Show doesn't go too far with it. And the number one thing that that San Diego Studios can do to make MLB The Show great again is listen to the community better. They have done, in my opinion, a very, very poor job of getting the pulse of the community. For example, this Hanley Ramirez card right here. Whenever they released this card, he had shortstop, third base, left field, and first base as all of the positions that he can play. Well, they went and looked at the history of it and said, oh, wait, he didn't play first or left field that year. We're going to take those positions away. Okay, that's fine. You're historically accurate. But the thing about it is people put a lot of fucking time into acquiring this card, and maybe they were acquiring it specifically so they could play him in left field. It's fucking retarded to take that away from a card that they spent hours and hours grinding for. You just say, oh no, fuck it, we screwed up and we're gonna take that away. Like, SES has done a really bad job of being proactive. They haven't been proactive in preventing these problems. They've been reactive. They fucked up, and then they've gone back and tried to fix it, and it ends up just being a stupid way of fixing it or fucking things up even more. This is a good example of that. Another example of that is the Pepe Alazar. if they would have discussed this with the community or with community leaders or something like that and said, guys, do you think this is a good idea? How do you think this is going to be received within the community? I think that they would have gotten a pretty good idea that the community would fucking hate Pepe. And they did. They hated him. He sucked. Nobody liked Pepe Alazar. So what did they do? They said, okay, well, here are 2 amazing real cards that you can trade Pepe in for, and not get, that completely misses the point of why people had a problem with the Pepe Alazar. The problem they had with it is that it was a fake card that was 99 overall. It was perfect. They're gonna use it. It's not that they don't want to use the card. It's that they don't feel like it's within the spirit of Diamond Dynasty. It's not an Easter egg like Reggie Stalker. It's not anything like that. It's just some weird fucking thing that you guys decided to do. And then to fix it, you're saying, oh, well, you can have this card who's nowhere near as good, and you can trade Pepe in for this card. Nobody is going to do that unless they're a huge Chipper Jones fan or a huge Albert Pujols fan. And then, you know, if guys are really big fans of those guys, but they still want to have the best damn card in the game, because why wouldn't you? You said that that's the only way all year that you're going to be able to acquire the Chipper and the Albert Pujols. That is crazy, because now you're making these guys pick between the best card in the game who's going to help them win games way more than Chipper Jones and their favorite player of all time. I know that they can go get the 95 Chipper, but that card isn't anywhere near as good as the 99 Chipper. So it just sucks. SDS, you stink at listening to the community. You need to do better. And I know that this is like pretty strong criticism, but you guys have just been so reactionary, and you've done things really well on a few fronts, but on others it's like you don't know what your community wants at all. And it's a problem. You need to get, maybe with me, maybe with some other YouTubers, maybe with guys like Aqua or Water, you know, whatever you want to call him, who know, you know, kind of how the community feels. Maybe go on Reddit a little more often and see what the community is feeling about certain things to get a better pulse, feel of the pulse and how the community is feeling, so that you can know whether this idea that you have is a good one or not. But guys, that's going to do it for this episode. I know it was a little long. I know I got a little long-winded. It's just because I'm pretty passionate about these things, as you know. But yeah, guys, that is going to do it. Tomorrow, I'm going to put out a similar version to this, but it's going to be in regards to gameplay and how to fix the gameplay issues that plague this game. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a top 10 out of that, because I don't think it's really like the quantity of problems in gameplay. It's just like the problems that there are pretty big. So yeah, guys, I will see y'all then. But until then, guys, peace.